Hello. Sanbonani, dumelang. Absheni, molweni. Yenda. Welcome to yet another edition of Fut-Afrique channel. My name is Brad Mofuke, and joining me in studio for this edition, as has been for the last few weeks, it is Lufuno. Yeah, they call him Kosi for life. Yeah?
Yeah.
Good weekend. All smiles.
3 points.
You know, since you've been coming to the show, Lufuno.
Yeah.
Today was one of those days we walked in, I actually saw your chest was out. You know, you're walking out, there's massive pride around the studio. It's like, how's it? Yeah. This was the greeting today. Yeah? Well done. You got it right last week. You said Chiefs would win last week and they won.
Yeah.
It was not an easy week. It was not an easy one, eh?
It was not an easy game. I think it was extremely hot.
Yeah.
At about 3:30. The first half was very scrappy.
Yeah.
But I think 3 points is 3 points. I will take it and move on.
Let's talk about this. I mean, we had a discussion here. We spoke about Itumeleng Khune in goals. We spoke about Brendan Peterson in goals. They both have given a chance. Now, for the first time this season, Bruce Wuma was given a chance to be in goals. And at the end of the game, it was a very emotional day for him because I remember Daniel Ekpe going across because he was just crying. He was not crying because Chiefs had lost, Chiefs had won. And he's saying, I'm finally given a chance and I keep a clean sheet. What do you make of his performance overall?
I think it kept it very, very simple.
Yeah.
He did what he has to do as a goalkeeper. He was not flashy. You know, he really kept it very cool. Even when Swallows tried to push him under pressure or put him under pressure, really his distribution was just spot on. He had a fair game. I mean, he was not really tested that much besides one save that he made in the second half. But other than that, I think he had a good game. Three points for Chiefs and clean sheet for him. And I'm happy for him because, I mean, two goalkeepers that you mentioned have been creating a lot of errors and he was never given a look at, you know, and he was given an opportunity and then he performed.
So what Daniel Ekpe, I mean, it was masterclass for him to go across and console the young man as he was, very much emotional. But he also had a good game, Daniel Ekpe.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he just conceded one goal, and we look at it really as well. Similarly to Vuma, he was not really that much tested, in a way. Chiefs really did not create clear-cut chances.
Yeah.
It was just a half chance, and then they took it. I mean, he had a very fair game.
Calculators are out now, so you already got 7 points out of the possible 9 you wanted to get. So
it's 6 points. Yeah. We lost against Pirates. Yeah. I thought we were going to get a draw. So
I don't want to say that because I wanted you to correct that yourself.
No, we lost against Pirates, so we got a 6.
Yeah.
So look, if they keep grinding the result, we're sitting at position 6 or 7 now.
Yeah.
Because maybe Stellenbosch has won, the league log have changed.
Yeah.
But we keep grinding the result. By end of December, we can pretty sit in a good position to fight for number 2.
You want to fight for number 2?
Number one is gone. Number one is gone.
Number 1 is gone.
I told you.
Yeah, let's talk about Sundowns coming back. I mean, 2 months not playing local football.
Yeah.
They return. We had a new team at number 1 for 72 hours.
Yeah.
Cape Town City managing to win their 6th game in a row in the league.
Yeah.
And they were sitting on top before Sundowns playing in the derby. And once again, Shalulile and Ribeiro, the goal scorers, they won by 2-0 to return back to the top. Really, it's going to be worrying now. I mean, and Lufuno, you've got to be honest about this. You talk about a team that didn't play football locally for 2 months. They return. They were off the top for just 3 days, and they're back again at the top.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, there is no competition for Sundowns. I mean, Sundowns is over and above the rest of the teams in the PSL. We can speak the whole day about how they do it, but the bottom line is that as I said to you, I don't see Sundowns losing those games in hand. Even if they had to lose out of those games, they'll lose 1 or 2 or draw. So the Sundowns have been active. If you look at it, Sundowns did not have a break. Remember, Sundowns had close to about 6-7 players out in international games. So the players were playing. They were active. So the players were fit. They still able to rest other players because the depth of the team in that team it's out of the this world. I mean, they got quality players.
9 matches played, 9 victories for Sundowns. Now, there's something new happening in Cape Town.
Yeah.
Stellenbosch FC, they find themselves now sitting 4th on the log standings after winning, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
So Chiefs remain 7th on the log standings. Cape Town City were number 1. They've now gone back to number 2, just 2 points behind Sundowns. But Sundowns still have 4 games in hand over them overall. But not everything is good in the Western Cape. Cape Town Spurs, they are now sitting on if you look at the coaches, they had, at the start of the season, they had a Sean Bartlett who promoted them into the Premier Division.
Yeah.
Then they had Vasily taking over for 2 matches. Then a Sean Connor, who's part of the youth team, set up, coming and taking over for 3 matches. They have Ansman and Op has been in charge of 2 matches. They've lost both those matches. So if you look at it, 13 matches played so far this season, no draws, 12 losses and only 1 win.
And they beat Pirates.
You have to bring Pirates in, and I know. That's what everybody's thinking about. They say, they beat one team, and which team was that?
It's Pirates.
But let's talk about this. I mean, surely at now they should be worried about their status in the Premier Division because Ansman and Op has arrived. When Ansman and Op arrived, you had very good words to say about Ernst. You said that you thought that Ernst that season when he was at Chiefs, he did very well. You thought he was going to do well at Cape Town Spurs. What is your take now?
No, it's not going to do well. Nothing will change. It's very difficult to get out of the bottom in the PSL. PSL, it's a very tough league. Once you don't win the games, to change that, it's very difficult. You know. So unless something really in January they beef up the personnel, the playing personnel. Yeah. Because I think one of the mistakes that Cape Town Spurs did, is really rely on old players. They got 3 old players playing in key roles in that team. And the rest of the players are youngsters. It's very difficult. You need to balance your team. Your team must be very, very balanced. Otherwise, you will by the time you wake up and it's gone. You need to get 30 points. So they need to get to 30 points to really try
only
and say,
3 at the moment.
Exactly. They have to get to 30 points. So now you can calculate how many games they need to win to get there. It's going to be very difficult. But
that's always been the philosophy of the team. I mean, Cape Town Spurs, from the days of being Cape Town Spurs to 7 Stars to when they formed Ajax of Cape Town, they've always had a lot of young players in the squad and versus the older players in the team. So don't you think the playoffs had a huge impact on them overall?
Not necessarily. If you look at the Ajax that nearly won the league, yes, they had youngsters, but they had the cream of youngsters. You can talk about your Serrero, you can talk about Manyama, you can talk about George Maluleke, you can talk about Tyson. I mean, Mabuti was there.
Kama Billiard was there.
Billiard was there. So you're talking about proper young players. Those players that I mentioned, they became big names in South African football, and they had Hans Vonk as a goalkeeper. Yes. So the spine of that team was.
Don't talk about Hans Vonk because they lost that league title. That day he made that mistake in the last day.
Yeah, but how many points did he win them in that campaign? It's huge.
Good point. Because I still remember when they played. In fact, for me, when I look back at that season, 2010-2011 season, I think they lost the league the day they were 4-1 up against Sundowns and eventually drew 4-4. With Franklin Cale being coming up before you guys took them to Polokwane.
And we gave
them 4 in the afternoon.
We really gave them a hiding.
You literally ended Paris the league title that season.
I don't want to talk about that. But we win the league. We win the league chase. Brian, we win the league chase. We also lost that league by 2 points to Pirates. So we were there. I mean, we also fight. If Pirates did not win the last game against Arrows and Chiefs win against Amazulu that day, Chiefs would have been champions. So Chiefs was also fighting for that league. So there was no favor.
But it was far-fetched. You were outside of that.
Well, we were close. I mean, the Pirates beat us about 2 points or so to that league title. So it was not far.
And then Ajax lost by a goal difference.
Exactly. It was not far off.
Okay. Let's look at matches that are coming up for Cape Town Spurs. The next game will be against Sundowns on the 13th. Then they have Amazulu. Then the last game of the year, it is a Cape Town derby against Cape Town City FC. Yeah. How many points do you think they'll get from those matches?
0.
They'll get 0 from those points?
0. They'll lose all 3 games.
Sure. So by the time we come back in February on Valentine's Day, they played a game on Valentine's Day, by the way, when we come back.
They will have some love, maybe. Are they not playing Pirates?
No, that's coming up later on. But,
Okay.
Oh, you're thinking, I see where you're going there. You're thinking 3 points from Pirates again. I see where you're going there. No. Not anytime soon. Later on in the season, they'll pay the Buccaneers. So you think they will get 3 points from there again?
Yeah, well, they'll be going to Cape Town. So if they got 3 points in Orlando, they might get another 3 points in Cape Town.
Yeah, you're not nice, eh?
No,
you're not a nice person, because if my Pirates, people will not be happy with you always bringing Pirates up, especially on these discussions, because Cape Town Spurs, the last time the one, in fact, they were playing at home. So Pirates doesn't have a very good record traveling in the mother city.
Yeah.
Talk about that as some other game. Now, let's shift our focus now, because the league is here. Mm-hmm. We've already spoken about the changes that are happening. We have the semi-finals of the Kali Knockout.
Yeah.
The third semi-final for Steve Barker this year alone.
Yeah.
Nedbank Cup, MTN 8. Now he's in a Kali Knockout. Do you think we'll be able to get the desired victory against Richards Bay FC to get into the final for the first time?
Yeah, I think if there's one team that might win this Kali Cup, it's Stellenbosch. I think they know how to play away. They also know how to play at home. They're a very balanced team. They can grind result. They don't have a star player. They play as a team. Yeah. They're quite a very good team to watch as well. So they play very good football. They're very pacey. I've watched Richards Bay. They've got another senior coach. They played against Pirates. Yeah. I saw some changes in the goalkeeping department. Look, a cup game and a league game is completely different. They play in a different pace and all that. And I think Stellenbosch will win.
If you look at the record, I say in the Stellenbosch coming into this game, last 7 matches, they've won 6, they've drawn 1 match. Richards Bay, on the other hand, things they don't look that bad anymore, because they drew that game against Pirates. They went on to win against Cape Town Spurs, I beg your pardon. They had draws in between as well. So they haven't lost matches in the last 3, so they're not looking that bad as well. They're playing at home as well. Yeah. So far they've played all their matches at home. So do you think Stellenbosch will be able to get into the final from that match? Yeah,
I think Stellenbosch will get to the final. As I said, Stellenbosch really, the way they play, you can see that they're going to score. It's not something that just happened from nowhere. When the goal comes, you can see now the build-ups, how they're going to get into the final third and then get a goal. And they've got a very sound defensive pattern as well. Yeah. I've seen they also change the goalkeeping department. Masuluke was in.
And kept a clean sheet as well.
Yeah, and kept a clean sheet as well. So they've got a very good team. I think Steve Barker really, and he has been there. He's one of the longest serving coach in that team for a while in the PSL. It's very rare for a coach in the PSL to go 2-3 seasons in one team. And he's been there. He's solid. He has introduced a lot of youngsters, and he's got an eye for talent. He can get a player that is not playing and put him in, and you get a good performance.
But then there comes a question. You're talking about Steve Barker, how well he has done with the young players that has brought in some players who were surplus to requirement in certain teams and has done well with those players. Yeah. Same argument can be raised with the Cape Town Spurs to say, if Steve Barker is able to balance that out, what's wrong? Why can't you do it?
Yeah, the thing is, as I said, you've got an experienced players at Stellenbosch that are there. You look, as I said,
but Cape Town Spurs got some experienced players as well.
Well, they're old. They're old. The 3 guys,
Daniels,
Clayton Daniels. How old is Clayton? Nazir Ali, Morton. They're old. The guys are old. But look at the spine of Stellenbosch. They've got a spine. They've got a goalkeeper, Stevens. Yeah. They're a regular goalkeeper. And then they bought the defender from
Ivory Coast.
From Ivory Coast. He was playing for...
You're talking about Touré?
Yeah. He was in one of our PSL teams. Yeah. It's a very experienced defender. Yeah. And then you've got the middle field. Yes, they lost Ox. Yeah. They've replaced Ox now. They got Macheka. He has got a man of the match performance.
Your player, eh?
Yes, my player. So look, the front line. For a fact that you've got Reina. They've got a spine. And they've got lots of exciting players. They can play with wings. They can play with counterattacks. They can vary their game depending on who they are playing against. They're a very good team.
Ikram Reyners, for me, when he went back home, it was like, wow, something else. I mean, Janet Adams called up into Bafana fold.
Yeah.
And you show exactly, sorry, because there's massive progression coming up.
Yeah.
So let's leave that. So you believe Stellies will actually go through into the final?
Yeah.
So the Maroons will defeat the Natal Ridge boys?
Yeah, I think for me, Stellies, I'm putting them there. If they get into the final, they will win the final.
Let's now move on and look at the other game.
Yeah.
You got Amazulu.
Yeah.
Up against TS Galaxy. The only trophy Amazulu has won in their history is this trophy, the Kali Knockout, way back in 1992.
Coca-Cola Cup.
When they won it, way back in the days.
And they beat who? 3-1. Clive Barker.
Yeah, no, I'm not. Why do you want to take me there again?
No, I'm just showing you. Some of us were privileged to watch Kaizer Chiefs long ago. So yeah, I know. There are certain things that when people start talking about, you realize. But it's history.
No, but I'm saying that history is always poking holes.
No, but it's a good history. It's a good history.
Why is that good? What is that history? Why is that history good?
Look, Amazulu, as you said, is the only trophy they have.
Yes.
And for them, if they can repeat that.
No, I'm saying, but why is that a good history?
Well, beating Chiefs in the final is very good for anyone. It's a very good, because people won't forget about it.
Yeah.
But you can beat any other team, people won't, same as the other ones that are playing again, both of them. And as I said to you last time, TS, the trophy they've got against Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah.
I told you that.
So now in total, what you're saying is that now these are the two teams who the only silverware they've gotten have been against Kaizer Chiefs. They're playing against each other.
Absolutely.
Which one do you think will go through?
It's going to be a very tough game. It's going to be a very, very, very tough game. And I'll tell you why. Amazulu, they're very disciplined in terms of defense. They don't give away goals easily. They don't. And they've got Motwa there. The guy is solid. He's a solid.
It's
a solid goalkeeper. Motwa is, for me, it's one of the top goalkeepers we have in the PSL. And you look at the defense of Amazulu as well. They don't give goals away, not easily. And they've got a very strong front line, Amazulu. Their midfielders, a very experienced Mutwari, your Maluleka. They've got very good players. Amazulu, on a good day, they can surprise you and score a lot of goals. It's just a consistency of really putting that every week in and week out. Amazulu can score 2, 3, 4 goals. Similarly to Galaxy, very pacey. They'll make you work very hard. You look for the ball, and if you're not fit enough, then they will poke holes. They're dynamic. Their coach is also very technically gifted. He's a very good coach. Yeah. So I think this is a fixture for the weekend. For me, it's going to be very, very tough.
You spoke about Amazulu, you spoke about the departments that they have as well. These players have come out and said that they want to play the rest of this competition in honor of their late soldier, that is Nkosi Ntuli, who passed away recently. So there's huge pressure comes out of there. You talk about Kwem, scored a hat-trick off the bench when they played against Golden Arrows. You talk about the game before that.
There's another
also,
guy
there
there.
was another hat-trick that came through from Amazulu players.
Yes.
So scoring department, I don't think they have a problem with that.
No.
The defense is very solid as well at the same time. Yeah. So your final, who will be in the final?
Oh, it's going to be tough. TS as well, they say they're playing for Bennett Parker.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a very, very tough game. Look, I think this one will go in extra time.
Yeah.
I think it will be decided on penalties.
Okay.
So I can't tell you who's going to go through. Either team will go through, but it's going to be through penalties. All
right. The next match that are coming for Chiefs, which ones do you think you'll win? You're still sticking to that position that you want to get your 15 points out of these other ones that are coming up?
Yeah. No, I saw Pulukwane, Skukune.
Richards Bay is coming up
Richards Bay. For me, it's a clean 9 points there.
Clean 9 points?
Yeah.
All right. So last week when you spoke, and a week before you said Pito is around, Chiefs must do the right thing. Pito's come out and said he's not thinking local football, he's thinking international, he's thinking more national team.
Brian, Chiefs is a big team, and nobody, if Chiefs come knocking, will say no. He will say that. He won't say straight that if Chiefs comes, he'll say yes. If Chiefs come, bring the money, put the money down, put the vision down, as he said, what they want to achieve, for him being there, there's no way that a coach will say no to coach Kaizer Chiefs. Other coaches, when they win against Kaizer Chiefs, they cry. It's a big team. It's a huge team.
Funa says, other coach, when they win against Chiefs, they cry.
They do.
All right. He said he's not sure whether TS or Amazulu will go through, but he believes going to go to penalties. And he says Stellenbosch FC will be in a final for the first time this year in their third semi-final they're playing in the take on Richards Bay FC. He said they'll get 9 points for the game they're going to play Kaizer Chiefs in the next 3 matches, as he's counted those teams they're going to play against. And he says, just a matter of time before the Amako say, Mr. Msimani, Jingles, we want you in Achirena. When they do that, he's going to be there. Until we meet again. Thank you very much for coming through the phone once again.
Thanks, bro.
Zwabudi.